So this first scenario is what to do if your senior most stakeholder isn't playing ball. So more specifically, the scenario is you're delivering a complex project, things are going well, you've got things set up, the plan's established, you've got your governance in place, you're reporting, and one of your stakeholders, and let's just say that's your most important, most influential stakeholder, just isn't playing ball, i.e. the task is with her, the critical path task is with her, or him, could be anybody. My example is a woman, so you may hear me talk about her. And they're just not doing what they need to. You've spoken to them, you've tried, but they're not, and that's why you're behind. So the situation goes on further. What if that person then starts, well, I guess we can talk into the specific scenario. So why might you not want to do anything? Well, what specifically would they do? So they could try and, what if they tried to make things up on a call and present information in either such a way that is just simply not true, or just quite frankly, just lie about the situation and say that the numbers are coming, or they're better than they should be, they're better than, George is reflecting them. Just basically trying to make themselves look good on a call where no, they're not. You're behind, and that's the end of it. What do you do? Well, here's what not to do. Again, I'll start with what not to do, because this is more the stuff that you can relate with. Well, if they're super senior, you might be tempted to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, maybe I have got my numbers wrong. And just be nice to them on the call and say, oh yeah, I'll go away and check. Problem with this is there is a slight chance you might be wrong, but what you're basically doing here is letting that person off the hook. If you're a good project manager and you've done it well, you've presented the information correctly, you've made doubly sure that those numbers are the actual numbers, because your job is to deliver the program. And by coming back on yourself and saying, oh, maybe I will check, I'll get back to you, what in fact you're doing is presenting to your accountable partner, your program sponsor, that you're actually not confident of the numbers, and you're basically backing down is what's happening. So the result is, and this is what's important, the result is that your sponsor sides the stakeholder and not you. Yeah, and this is bad. So basically, when that thing, the fact that you're late is your fault, because you're like, oh, well, let me go and check the numbers. And when they don't get delivered, because they won't get delivered, because by this point, your stakeholder she's won the battle. She's convinced the big senior sponsor that she's okay, and actually George has probably got his numbers wrong, and he's going to check. So do you see what's happened? You've gone from a position of power to actually it's all your fault. So this is basically what not to do. And there are a number of reasons why this happens, and it's typically because as a project manager, you're sometimes the most junior person on the call. Your stakeholders are COOs, sometimes board level, whatever, but they're senior people. And the program sponsor is probably even more senior, not necessarily, but typically this happens when you're the most junior person there. And as a contractor, this doesn't matter whether you're perm or contractor. If you're a contractor, everyone knows their level. And if if your stakeholders are, let's say, COOs, and you're not, well, you're not. By definition, a contractor is not. They're nothing. They could say they're everything, but they're nothing. And so this is where an insecurity can come in, and if you're not careful, you can lose control. And this is what can happen very easily. And this happened to me once in one situation. What you should do, coming back to, and what I did ultimately do when this situation came up again, is you call up the sponsor straight away, and you say, this person's not playing ball. What the information that she gave was not accurate. What actually happened is this. These are the numbers, and she hasn't produced these, and I've done this and this, but I need you to step in. I need you to speak to her, because I've tried, and if we don't do something, we're going to fall behind. In fact, we're already behind, as I said, but she's not responding to my requests. I need you to step in so that we get back on track. You bring the sponsor in, you make them fully aware, and this has to happen immediately, by the way. By all means, don't bring it up on the call with all your stakeholders, your main governance forum. Let that call complete, Yeah, but then call her up straight away before she gets onto her next call, saying, whatever her name is, Mr. Program Sponsor, I know what you just heard, but this is the real deal. Yeah, let's call her Sharon. Sharon was not giving the truth. This is what's happening. She's behind because, like I just described. And it has to happen within those seconds, basically. I tell you why. Why can't you sleep on this? This is another trap that people fall into. Why can't you sleep on this and go, I flagged it, and let me just double check my numbers, and then I'll go back to her in the morning. This can't happen. Why? Why can't this happen? Because all this time, the moment that call ends, this MD, this partner, is thinking, right, George is going and checking his numbers. He's got something wrong. Yeah. And the more time passes before you correct that perception, then that becomes the reality. Okay. So whether you go back the next day and go, I did check the numbers, and whether they've changed or not, whatever, it doesn't really matter because her perception is already set. George was raised something, but then bottled out of it because he wasn't sure of his numbers, and fine. So that's fine. But the next time she looks at the status or asks about the status, and you're behind, it's suddenly your fault. Yeah, this is the problem. Okay, sometimes it's easier to see the negative consequences of these things to really bring them home. And I've been in this situation, and it's not nice, particularly when you know what not to do. So, what is the golden rule? How do you handle a stakeholder that's not playing ball? You basically grass them up. This is it. There's no easy way, and this is why it's difficult. Because if you're anything like me, you don't like grassing people up. It's not a nice thing to, and it isn't a nice thing to do. But the harsh reality is if you don't, they are doing that. And if you don't do it and stand up for yourself, yeah, it'll come back to you. The sponsor will blame you. Yeah, and then it's too late to do anything about it. Yeah, you've lost. And then it's too late to say, oh yeah, but no, she what? No, it's all moaning and complaining by that point. You have to be proactive. It's the only way to win the battle, and it is a bit of a battle. Because at the end of the day, something's behind, and it is a battle. It is a battle between that stakeholder and you, and it's who flinches first. And so you've got to be on the front foot when someone is claiming that you're in the wrong, but you are the project manager and you know the data and you know that's your job. So you have to take it to the next level. You have to do the follow-up. The next step is the vital step, which is when somebody is trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes in your main call, you call your sponsor directly and tell them exactly what is going on there and then, and they will thank you for it. You can be apologetic, say, sorry if I'm interrupting, but there's something very important that just happened on that call. Sharon is not giving you the truth. This is the truth, and I need your help. Bring them into it. Because if you do that, they will thank you. They don't like stuff to do, but they hate stuff when stuff goes wrong. Yeah. But when something happens like that, and you bring them into it, and you think, but you can help this. I think all that it'll take is a call from you to Sharon to find out what's going on, and then we'll be back on track. But I've tried, and that's why I'm calling you. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense, and give it a try.